Welcome back to the LCS Challengers League. You might be wondering why I have this get up on, and you'll be finding out soon. But first and foremost, we got some business to take care of, and it's the Turo key drive from that last series and that last game. It was the turnaround, the TFT turnaround, especially Taco really having a lot of say in the way they dictated the map decisions, but also this fight. They were in primary position, even if Auto Orange got a nice little flank here, Cubby.
I really like what happened before this fight with Onat.
Yeah, that was the best part of it.
This fight was already over, but hey, props to NXI. I think kind of asked at the start, what would his Alistar look like as someone that did just role swap this support. I thought he did his job rather nicely in this game.
Yeah, I'd say it looked pretty good. It was that driving moment specifically that really made a difference. Yeah, that damage number pretty good. I'll just say top lane a little bit buffered by the slicing Maelstrom. That's the only reason the catch-up is there. Yeah. But yeah, Onat showing up magical.
I will say one thing. I'm really happy to see this from Onat because one question we kind of had coming into the season, right, with Onat was, what does he do besides Ahri and Annie? Can he really play anything to a really high level like we've been seeing from the Ahri and Annie? And we didn't really see much of that in the summer promotion. It was all the Ahri that really got our attention. But now we're seeing him grow a little bit outside of that and actually get to see more styles like that Victor. How well he handled the lane phase 2 into Get Back, making sure that he fought every CS early into the game and really would chunk out Get Back anytime Get Back even wanted to CS.
Very true. It was a very, really, and honestly, very curiously made win from Taco. The way that Maryville, again, we had opted into needing a lot of advantage. It came from the draft. Not necessarily finding that here, as we did get MVP Onat for our Turo MVP. Yep. And deservedly so, Cubby, because we'll quickly go through this.
I mean, I just want to, read off of the man's own Twitter as he decided to hit Twitter in between games. Most KP, most damage, most balls, frontline, Victor Gigachad. Which...
easy said and done.
#ONation.
That's it. Yeah, #ONation. We'll go ahead and move forward, though, now, as I do want to bring it back and hone in on our Rally Cry halftime show. As we'll bring up our bingo card to check in, and then we'll get to all the fun of the halftime segment. The Mingo card, if you will. As we did get another mark off the table. We got the Mazel Pog because we got the Turo Drive. Look at that. Comboing with a sponsor combo. Oh, my God.
All right, so now what we're missing is either Backdoor or Tristana. Or
Tristana. Yep. One of the two. One of the two has to happen here.
I'd prefer the backdoor, to be honest. That's much more fun.
Or maybe two. Understandable.
No. Well, or three.
Or maybe we get all of them at the end. Anyways, you might be wondering why I'm all in a cowboy hat. Well, you might have seen on the range. I lived in Texas for almost 15 years, a big portion of my life. I've done everything in ranching, from milking cows to baling hay to trading horses. So it gives me a little bit of a track record to try being Texan for a little bit. And I'm also bringing back a game show that I like to call a bit of storytelling narrative called Who's That Down Yonder, where we're going to learn a little bit about some players. You're going to try to tell me who that player is, and I'm going to try not to lose my headset. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the first player here. It will be a little graphic I put together with a little help from somebody. No. We'll go ahead and bring up the graphic now. All right, so who's that down yonder?
Down yonder.
Have our first, you got to have the twang on it. All right, so first stats are this person made his big splash in 2022 with a university. Yeah, that's a general ass statement right there. Has won Penta competitively. Yeah, we're really hitting the money on the head here, right?
So
has placed first at multiple lands.
It's Scary Jerry.
It is Scary Jerry.
It is that man, Scary of Jerry's.
Yeah, like you
right
said,
there. Look at him.
Look at him. Yeah, he's got one.
He's
scary. Scary Jerry.
He's Scary Jerry. He's not your boogeyman. He's a real life person. He had a lot of success with Converse in his big splash in 2022.
Third place finish in the CLOL 2022. Not too bad.
Also had his Penta in 2022 CLOL with a versus ASU on Jinx. And had in most recency won Gateway and Comic-Con back to back to Maryville. So pretty awesome stuff there from Scary Jerry. as we're going to move on to our next Who's That Down Yonder, because somebody's down at the end of my driveway, and I got to figure out who it is. I'm sorry, you're too early, son. All right, we're going to move on. This person actually originally started on a Team Fish Taco team. They also have won Penta competitively, and his most played career champion has a 70% win rate. Who is that down in my driveway? Who's that down yonder?
I'm going to guess Rosethorn, because Rosethorn actually did start on Team Fish Taco.
By golly, Cubby's right. He isn't just a bear. It's Rosethorn. Who's that down yonder? I got to just click over. Oh, look at that. It's Rosethorn. Beautiful editing skills.
2020 Scouting Grounds.
Yep, exactly that.
Well, who's his most played? Is it Kindred?
It is Viego.
Oh, yeah. That's that.
His Penta came in something I know you'll like. Cup Season 2 on Olaf.
Wow.
And he originally started on TFT Green.
Olaf Jungle.
Back in the day.
Oh,
Can
man.
you imagine that Rosethorn has made it full circle to be back on a TFT team? I think it's so cool.
That is kind of funny.
Sorry, Taco Team. Switch your naming. Anyways, we're going to move on to our third. As we're getting a little tied down yonder. No. Stop it. All right, this person has had stints with LCS organizations. They also recently bowled a 244, the best score they've ever done. And known for his Lee Sin. Who am I thinking? Who's that down yonder?
It's Odd Orange.
It is Odd Orange. That man
So
is the
once you
jumper
say
from
it's
Maryville.
known for Lee Sin, it's like, yeah, it's Odd Orange.
No, once it's the bowling
The
244.
bowling. Yes, that's what I
I'm
wanted.
on Twitter.
You're on Twitter? You're hip with the kids?
I was in Macau for a while.
Well, you're not hip with the kids then. LCS
not.
Works, Stints, Echo Fox, TL Academy, both Academy teams. And known for his Lee Sin because that man's a stud on Lee Sin. So I'll go ahead and actually bring up his picture.
I was like, where's the picture?
Yeah, Bam! Auto Orange right there.
Oh,
he actually
he's
had
got
his jersey. So
some wide shoulders placed.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know how it goes. We're back to square one though.
ONAT.
As you're gonna be disappointed, son.
It's
All right, we're gonna go. Who's that down yonder? Our last one had one of the biggest entrances to the developmental scene. Had a big splash. He won the Honda MVP at Scouting Grounds. Oh my goodness. He's also a roll swap. That one's got to be a giveaway.
NXI.
It's NXI, by golly. It's going to be that man in the support role. That's something I would have ever thought I said. But, yeah, I got a nice little bunch down there at the end of my drive. We got Scary Jerry, big man on campus. We got Rosethorn. Got Otto. You got NXI. An interesting fact. So that was Who's That Down Yonder. And now maybe I can start taking off this ridiculous getup because it's hot.
Yeah,
so,
it is. It is very hot.
Let's go ahead and bring it back to a little bit of zoning in on our Rally Cry halftime show because I do think it was interesting to see how Taco came out swinging in game one. But more specifically, how we are going to see a bit of a comeback from Maryville because early game is still the key here, Cubby.
Both these teams like to throw down. I think that for me, the big difference that time with Maryville was actually mid priority. ONAT started winning that lane so hard, it was just really tough for Get Back to get going. It turned into a solo kill. And once mid fell apart, the scaling for TFT really came online. So I think Maryville needs to figure out a way to kind of at least have a different matchup or put a little bit more focus on mid because the collapsing lanes into Victor was really able to set Ari behind.
Also, if you're gonna get more Chad gameplay like that from Victor, maybe you just gotta figure something out about that. But I do find it interesting that we get to zone in so much on this mid lane Magical because it is going to be crucial in game 2 to find a lot of advantage through there, or at least a little bit of stability.
And I think looking at how Get Back can kind of get back into the game. Yes, I made the pun off that. But looking at how he can really bounce back, I think it actually has to be on how he syncs up with Odd Orange. I think that was the one thing I was really lacking from that, where we see a lot of times that Maryville do focus so heavily on the top half of the map. They got to leave Scary Jerry and Zyko on their own in the early plays, but we never really saw Odd Orange attack mid lane, try to utilize the power that we've seen from both of them in the past.
Idea, take blue side for Maryville and Jax, take Sejuani for yourself, and then play around Niles. He gets Renekton or Pantheon.
Easy does it.
Pairs up pretty well. He's proven on the path. I think that could be a winning strategy maybe for Maryville.
So how much are we investing into the kind of that full-on early game strat for Maryville? Because we have seen them go with that, but also kind of bite that bullet too and find a way to make it work, but also not. So that Pantheon pick, very interesting. We'll see how as we get into draft what it's going to kind of get into, and especially Comfort coming out from Maryville because we want a comeback from them. We'll see if we get a slugfest for our final game of the day, guys. So take it away.
Well, it depends on who you're a fan. If you're a fan of Team Fish Taco, you don't want the comeback. You want the 2-0 here over Maryville to get a little bit of distance between you and Maryville in the standings. But looks like, Cubby, we're right. Maryville have opted to go to the blue side and immediately ban that Jax.
Set up Sejuani, man. I think that could be an option here, as we'll see what other bans we get. Kindred taken away from Rosethorn yet again. Like to see that, as I gotta say, if Team Fish Taco are able to take this game, 8-8 going into the last series, I mean, you have NXI in the first split of a rule swap. You are a new team in the league. I had them rated a lot lower than 8-8 at this point of the season, where I kind of had them posted. So I would be very impressed if Team Fish Taco are able to continue to put this together, as I think they've been a pleasant surprise in the league, which, I mean, no surprise given the quality of teams we've seen Rosethorn and Spawn on in the past in Challengers League, but a bit of surprise seeing some of the other members start to step up around them.
Yeah, and it's also nice seeing Lunacia and Onat, the two younger players, really looking really good in this matchup. But the Sejuani, yep, I was expecting the Lee Sin hover, which kind of, I think, the shot up, and like, yeah, we know Orange likes to play it, but he's going to have to do Sejuani 2D.
Oh, you know, Coach Cubby might be on the same page as Maryville.
All right, get to the next two picks before they go. Go. Fast.
It's a Xayah or a Felios here, and then
you got to choose one.
Felios.
Give Felios, who else?
Oh, I should have guessed. It's Varus. Yeah,
you should have guessed that.
Varus. Yeah, that actually was bad.
Yeah, that's bad on you.
My bad.
I can't believe you've done this.
And then take jungle. So Rosethorn Wukong or a Rosethorn Maokai.
I'm kind of looking at the Vi, to be honest. That's something that has been open, and with Onat liking to play Ahri.
See?
Okay.
I called it.
You did.
Now you get to Panth or Jace. I think that both are good options here for Niles in the top side.
I do
and
too.
Then you could take Ahri for get back here. If not, then you're going to have to take something like a Xayah bot. I think that is a decent option here.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to go for the Ahri, just with how good Onat looked on that Victor last time. I would imagine that if the Ahri did get picked here, we would see the Victor really early into the draft. But the Pantheon, that's what I expected. Once we see that Renekton locked in, I'm not sold on that from Team Fish Taco. I think there are other options. The Pantheon and then the Ahri for get back. I'm expecting a Victor right here.
I am expecting potentially a Rel, actually, for NXI. I think this is where really the time that you take Rel, and then you can ban out a support counter if you so choose. If not, I think Onat has enough options mid where you can actually eat some mid bans and things are okay. But okay, never mind. They want Annie, so Annie going to be the take here for the side of Team Fish Taco. Expect to see some bot lane bans to protect that Varus.
Yeah, that's what I kind of would expect as well. Anything that could really attack him in this bot lane. Especially because we got to look at what they want to pair up with Scary Jerry. The Xayah still wide open. They could easily take that, but it doesn't have a really good lane phase into Varus. So I'm kind of curious to see if maybe we'll see just focus on things like Ezreal is what I was thinking, not the Aphelios.
I'm not surprised to see Aphelios taken. That has been one of Scary Jerry's most played this split. And it would be a lot of strength potentially into the Varus. As jungle ban's coming on in. Actually surprised to see Vi slip this far down the standings.
Too.
As that could have been a take there instead of the Annie, but not going to be the option. As Xayah taken away as well, so two marksmen. Okay. I might get to the point where it is another Ezreal indeed, Mad Magical. With those taken off
that's the only reason why I was kind of thinking maybe they want to leave open Aphelios, because it does struggle into the current iteration of Varus. But like you said, Scary Jerry very well practiced on the champion, so not surprised. But the Wukong is going to be the last ban there from Maryville. Deny a lot of that team fight potential there for Team Fish Taco and what they could really play around with early game priority that they're going to get from having an Annie, even having a Renekton, if they can utilize some of that power early.
I wouldn't mind a Poppy here from Rosethorn, but it seems to be that highest win rate champ that Mazel was teasing, the most played, and the 70% win rate Viego for Rosethorn going to come on in.
And holding on for the last pick for NXI so they can really round out the spot lane. And I feel like with Rel being open, obviously that's going to be what we expect Zyko to play here. Then they could go for Kai'Sa Rel, but then I think that's why you hold on to the last pick for the support with Alistar being available, and that would make it really difficult for that Rel.
I think Kai'Sa's good here because in fights, it gives you some mobility around the Renekton and the Viego. And also you can follow up with everything else that Maryville wants to do rather well, but it will get bullied in the lane by the Varus. So if NXI wants to go with that Alistar again, it's okay. I actually would prefer something that isn't Nautilus.
I would prefer the Alistar. I will be honest. I'm kind of looking towards the Alistar as the one that I'd really like to see here. I think it also is really good into things like Pantheon, where you can punt out the Pantheon if Pantheon jumps onto the back line. So seeing that locked in, I think looking at both compositions, I feel like they both got good answers into one another.
I think for Taco, a lot of it's just going to be about the initial team fight pop between the Annie, Viego, and the Varus to see if they can get a reset for Rosethorn, whereas for Maryville, topside should be very difficult for Lunacia, as Niles has proven that this Pantheon is something that he is very comfortable playing into this matchup specifically.
Yes.
And when you throw a Sejuani on top of that, it's rather deadly, especially if Niles chooses to use that empowered W onto the Renekton. That is instantly 3 permafrost stacks added to that Renekton. So that is a very deadly combo that I hope to see Odd Orange and Niles execute upon in the top side.
Looking towards that top lane, that's really what we have to keep our eyes on. I think Rosethorn as well will really want to attack early Niles on this Pantheon, because Pantheon, once he gets ahead, really difficult to contend against. But if he's behind, feels really useless. You feel like you're just a stun bot, kind of like how Renekton feels in many situations that he falls behind.
Onto the Rift for the last game of day 2, Mad Magical, as it is going to be Odd Orange and Niles, the Bash Bros in the top side, seeing if they can get ahead. As I want to see if ONAT can continue to put together some good performances. Fun fact, ONAT actually leading all mids in goal differential at 15. Mad Magical, that's something that
That's impressive.
A lot of people would be surprised about, especially given some of the strong laning that we've seen out of mid laners like APA. I think that the fact that Taco plays as bloody as they do helps, but ONAT had a hell of a good first game last time. See if he can continue that today.
Rosethorn gonna deny that invade that Niles and Odd Orange wanted to go for a bit late. But they will put down that ward, so they'll spot out some of the pathing for Rosethorn. However, Rosethorn has been wise about this one, is pathing down to start on the bottom half of the map, which is where I expected, because I expect both junglers to want to play around that top lane like you were talking about, Cubby.
I don't think the top lane 2v2 is winning for the side of Team Fish Taco. It is going to be Pantheon Sejuani slamming. But Rosethorn actually going to start with a protected camp. So going for the Wolves early is actually a bit curious. I sometimes like Wolves start because that's the hardest camp to get invaded upon when it comes to the respawn of the camps. So Rosethorn doing this path is going for that fast 6. Also trying to defend his camps, because if you do Raptors first, we've seen a lot of junglers actually go contest the respawn Raptors, and if you are able to take that away as a jungler, you get really far ahead.
And Rosethorn is going to be spotted out on the top half of the map, having gone.
I couldn't tell if he was or not, actually.
He barely was. It was for like half a second that he got spotted out there. So they should have knowledge that Rosethorn is on the top half of the map. I think that's kind of how you have to beat what you were talking about, that power that you have in the 2v2. Rosethorn's actually in a position he could go for the top lane gank early on, but this bot lane for Team Fish Taco struggling just a bit because they did lose out on the level 2.
Nice stun there from Zyko yet again. Just going to use the shield to tank some of that. Well played. As Rel, champion that all of our junglers kind of have to re-pick up. As Rosethorn could use this path actually to get up in the face of Sejuani early if he so chooses. But get back, warding him out here.
ONAT got the stun, the flash away though from Get Back. Means that he'll survive, but that is a flash burn by Rosethorn as well, trying to get the Spectral Moss done.
And he's sticking around. I don't think he realizes that a ward's there. The fact that he is not spotted.
NXI. A little bit too much damage there. I know you wanted to punt back Zyko towards the turret, but you took way too much for the play.
Rosethorn stuck around for that entire duration. Enabled Odd Orange to actually get a bonus camp or 2 ahead. There'll be a Raptor tank for Rosethorn. He's going to have to go to that bot side to try and contest the crab, where his bot lane's getting shoved in. Because Maryville, again, have taken full push outside of this mid lane. You can see the lanes for Team Fish Taco falling behind early.
On behind. Struggling a bit. Mid lane, though, ONAT will have a little bit of that power now that the flash has been burned early by Getback. That's why I kind of am looking at Rosethorn to continually attack this mid lane. Really try to put Getback behind. Even if ONAT isn't going to generate that lead himself like he did in the previous game. Having your jungler show up in the mid lane, getting the early plays for Annie so that Annie can feel very impactful later, I think could be the game plan for Taco.
So if Rosethorn actually started red and went top to bot, then Odd Orange would have been able to find the respawn Krugs there. So I think that's why he was sticking around. Wasn't able to get a ward down. That will swap over to the sweeper. And Odd Orange a little bit further ahead on this first clear compared to Rosethorn. He did take that time to spend mid to get that flash down and hang around for a little bit extra. Really want to see if he can successfully revisit mid. Of course, that setup with Annie rather dire for Getback's Ahri, especially before level 6 where Ahri can slink on away.
ONAT looked at first like he could have been in danger, but there was a ward placed down, so he knew that Zyko was looking for that play in mid lane. I don't think he realizes that there's a Sejuani on the bottom half of the map as well. Possibly could look to attack this mid lane before the dragon.
You can see Odd Orange skipping over a few camps to at least get some vision set up, make sure that Zyko is nice and safe. But I think Sej will try and ding that level 5 at least before this objective started. And so far, I want to praise Zyko actually quite a bit for
surprised you don't want to talk about something else. I'm really surprised there's not something sticking out like a sore thumb to you. I can't look away from.
Is that the non-Shiv Scary Jerry?
No, there's something worse.
Chiz?
Look at the top lane.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, that's actually how this match goes.
It's expected, but it doesn't mean it's any better.
Okay. Well,
It doesn't mean that's any better. Look at that. Manasi is like, I want to farm up something, but he did get level 6 before Niles, and his ult's a little bit more impactful in those skirmishes. But yeah, his stun actually being dodged away there is going to be bad, so Lunasi is going to have to back out.
And you can see Tibbers burn mid. Getback should be able to sustain a little bit, but Zyko and Odd Orange sitting around. Smite of the way. Plus 50.
Thumbs up, yep. And it doesn't realize that Zyko's there too, so went for the stun on a Getback. Flash, though. Nicely done from ONAT to survive.
A lot of respect being shown here by ONAT, as Niles, he might look for the solo kill here.
Could. He keeps landing those Comet Spears onto him. That's going to be Dominance popped, and look who's right there in the jungle, looking to play around Lunacia. They can easily dive, set this one up for first blood.
Double flash burned. Maybe they could have saved the flash. Niles actually charges up that spear, but still that wave is very dire for the side of Lunacia. As Rosethorn going to try and sneak on in, see if he can find Odd Orange walking back into the jungle. Will not be the case. So he has to slink away. And that win con of the top lane, we set it up that Niles and Odd Orange had the potential to make plays up there. They make a good one, burn 2 flashes, and get first blood.
But I want to see what gets answered back here from Taco. They want that play mid lane. Well done from Getback, like you said.
Really well done. ONAT doesn't have flash, so Getback knows that he's safe. Holds on to that ult as well. So will be spotted as see how this first base spawn. Once you get some levels onto the Varus, Kai'Sa does get outranged by Varus, so you can see the bot lane of Team Fish Taco is starting to catch back up a little bit. I think that part of the reason that first part of the waning phase went so well for them again, praise to Zyko landing some of those Qs, hitting level 2 first, actually synergizing really well. As Kai'Sa Rel is a powerful combo, and the two of them actually have used that pretty good in the bot lane for Maryville, as things are going a little bit better this time around for them.
But at the beginning of the day, well, beginning of this series, when we were talking in the pre-show, I was talking about how I expect this series to be a 1-1 split where once one team gets ahead early, they snowball out of control, and that's kind of in their game plan.
Here we go.
Mazel set that up before, and it looks like they're going to continue to snowball this top lane. Really hit at that Renekton, make him feel absolutely useless, even though they try to get the slice and dice away. They can rinse and repeat. Waiting it out. But Lunacia actually absorbing the dive and surviving.
Wow. The fact that he gets that full wave is actually criminal, as Odd Orange, I don't know if he just hit 6 from that, but Lunacia, I mean, props to him getting in the middle of the wave and actually picking everything up, because now Getback, he has that ult down. He has to actually TP back mid. Niles, like, Odd Orange had to go back too. His health bar was low, so this first Herald going over to the side of Team Fish Taco is actually a huge steal from them given the draft, and Maryville still wants to think about contesting.
And Niles is going to show face here.
Can't,
Look at, they can't. They even have Lunacia. He has his ult back up. That's a huge swing there for Taco.
That's, given the draft, that really should not happen for Team Fish Taco, as that dive going sideways. Props to Lunacia for pulling that one off.
Then mid lane, Onat getting a big chunk of damage there on a get back. So looking at Taco, I gotta give a lot of praise there for Lunacia with how he played that matchup, and he didn't even have ult. That's the big thing for me. Usually when that happens for Renekton, it's because his ult kind of catches people off guard. But he honestly just played it very well. And it's gotten him a little bit back in this game. He's not quite as far behind as he had been, and had that kill gone through.
Ottawa?
Okay. Okay, well, didn't expect that either. That's Charm not going to connect onto Onat. NXI trying to re-engage. They're going to knock him onto one, but it's still a kill they need to, as Lunacia is going to take down Pantheon while NXI tries to chase down Odd Orange, but you are Alistar. You do not have damage. It's on Lunacia to try to get this with the crash down and the Charm, but they get connect with the wombo combo. Slice and dice, there it is. It's a kill for Lunacia, as Odd Orange and Zyko, they're still looking to play around this long wall, but Lunacia's got the angle. He could look for Zyko, trying to get the stun onto him, waiting it out, as Rosethorn, who died at the very beginning of the fight, keep that in mind, he got soloed out by Odd Orange, he's back.
Zyko's gonna be able to get out of this. Oh, never mind, NXI
No,
burn
he's not. Flash burn, and they even got the stun there, waiting for Rosethorn to get a part of it. Does seem that Zyko should get out. Niles, what an extended fight here, because it's not done. They were thinking about it, but I think the fact that you had Odd Orange as low as he was, they decided to forfeit the fight.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to sing Ring Around the Rosie or play Yakety Sax here, because we just kept on running around this wall. And it starts with Rosethorn going down to actually the Pantheon ultimate in the back half, and then Onat able to barely get away from that stun. That actually buys quite a bit of time, and we have to go back to action because Lunacia, you're dead.
Lunacia definitely dead here. Fighting back, healing up only a little bit. But you can see what happens when you have the two that we expected of Odd Orange and Niles working in tandem.
And that's a shutdown, actually, going over to Niles. And I got to say, Niles is very fed on this Pantheon. And Pantheon, known for the early game. You know, anyone who's laning against Pantheon top knows how oppressive this pick can be. But I got to say, I think Pantheon actually scales really nicely in the first two items, because when you get the Black Cleaver, you can instantly apply that on so many parts of Pantheon's kit. So I think it's going to be really valuable, actually, this game for MU, is that first and second item spike will be very big, especially for this Panth, who is very far ahead. You can see the game being played through Niles. He's 3-1-1. Things have been good here for the side of Maryville.
This is what I wanted to see last game. I wanted to see a lot more plays around the top half of the map for Maryville. They never really were able to have anything fruitful come from it. So playing around that, now I feel like they can actually start looking towards these mid lane plays, look towards Get Back and getting him back in the game.
Niles does have that empowered TP. Look at that ward behind spawn. I think Niles and base might actually think about it if they decide to stick around.
Yeah, but NXI spawn.
Okay.
Smart call there. Gotta sniffing that one out. They also saw that Odd Orange was pathing there. Would have been really risky with Lunacia not having TP, and same with Onat.
Lunacia goes for a plate. You could see Niles try and ult, but no, he's just going to take the ward as we have another Tibbers coming out to just chunk down Get Back. And engage here in the bot side. Zyko.
That's a lot of damage on a Zyko, and he's not nearly as tanky as he thinks he is. The flash forward from Spawn. Then Scary Jerry using the ult, the killer assault, and they got a cleanse out a Spawn. NXI, he's got, without him, what can you do as Spawn? But it's going to be the resets there from Rosethorn as he gains one back. It's a 2-for-2 trade in the long extended trade. That's now him and Odd Orange. They're going to rumble. Last time this happened to Rosethorn, you lost to the Sejuani, and you were realizing that really quickly with the minions helping out. He could easily go back for this one. Look how low you are. That's going to be the flash in, killing spree for Odd Orange.
Well played by the Sejuani as Odd Orange continues to find leads. And Odd Orange, man, this Sej pick, it's been big each of these games. Odd Orange has his hands on it now and making good use of it, as we're going to catch the start of the fight, actually. Two-man combo from NXI, able to cancel the crash down from Zyko. Nice connect here from Spawn. A lot of damage coming out from this Varus. As NXI, I think a big part, actually wasn't able to get off the stun, and the ult was late from him. As wasn't able to do it before the passive proc came in for Kaisa. So Scary Jerry, nice flash away, able to get out, but hey, Rosethorn shows up, picks that one up, and then Orange just wins the war of attrition.
Yeah, Rosethorn, I think he expects to do more damage than he really does, and also expects less damage from Orange at this point, and yeah, that's just never going to happen.
Orange has red buff, and the way that you win this 1v1 as Viego is if you can W through the second part of the W from Sejuani, but I think the fact the red buff's up, no chances. Niles, you have to have power TP. Here it comes.
We were waiting for that before, and that's going to be the TP a little bit late. Spawn is in the alcove, getting a lot of damage. He does eventually, but look at Niles into the backline. He dies with Lunacia getting a trade back as well, and he's on top of Scary Jerry. He's got a lot of damage healing up, but it's going to be the kill from Scary Jerry with Niles barely surviving. Rosethorn wanted it so bad, but he was kited for days.
He just got his ult up, wasn't able to get it down as MU take Rosethorn down before that ultimate was available. That's the big difference in this one. Is Get Back has one more charge. He's gonna fish.
Oh, but body block there from NXI, but landing that Void Seeker, waiting it out as Onat does get the Timbers done with a double knockup on the turret, but you're just not tanky NXI. They can get the flash out of you. Even Get Back, he could look for it, but he decides to fall back.
Good play from Maryville as they push the pace of the game forward off that empowered TP from Niles. We teased it before that he could look. Niles able to convert that lead. The bot lane that he brought top rather well. And MU, curious to see where the gold was distributed after that fight, because it looked like quite a bit of it went over to Scary Jerry, who stayed alive throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, the fact that Scary Jerry survived with Lunacia on top of him as well, I think was a big factor. Niles too.
Yeah, they were already ahead though. Scary Jerry was able to pick up the gold there.
I was about to say, Niles dying, it was, if he survives, it's good. If he dies, it's okay. But like you said, Scary Jerry being the one who survives and gets a lot of gold is big.
Okay, well, off the back of that, Team Fish Taco keeping up the pace of this game. So they're going to take that Rotero for themselves, but MU's here. They spot NXI, but given the 5 members of Team Fish Taco being here and Get Back not having that ultimate available, going to see.
As Lunacia kind of realizing that this is still not an easy matchup. It's an Eclipse build for Niles as well, so he's really going to chunk out at Lunacia.
Yeah, you go Eclipse and then Black Cleaver, and once you get Cleaver, you instantly apply that as the Pantheon, as Niles will be stacking this up. And
last time this didn't work. Trying it again, but with more damage, so it definitely works this time.
Yeah, usually you don't want to lead with ult as Sejuani, because you can stack up the first Permafrost passive and then stack the ult on top of it, but Orange and Niles, they've played this combo before. They know better than me. That's a one-tap on a Lunacia as that first tower falls in favor of MU.
Well, I think they kind of tried that last time. Didn't work out so well. This time, they're just like, we're going to get the secured kill. We're making sure Lunacia dies no matter what.
I called it out in draft, you know.
You did.
Was the Sejuani first pick was big. Niles has a lot of ways to play into that if you take away the Jack. So
looking for a little bit of a fight here with the Magnet Storm. But guess who's here is Niles in the back line. NXI is not the focus. It's Rosethorn that they want, but they actually burst him down. Rosethorn's got the resets, and they can look for the turn, but look at Get Back on the side. NXI's low. The Killer Instinct picks up the kill onto the cow. This is going to be 3 versus 3, waiting for Lunacia to get with the rest of the team. The Dragon has been started up by Team Fish Taco.
Good cleanse from Spawn as it got out of the Pantheon combo, and Rosethorn was able to turn things on to Niles immediately. As Taco, they have the numbers, and they're actually going to get the second Dragon for themselves. So despite Maryville making some good plays around the map to get a lot of gold in their pockets, they've been able to convert the leads into the first 2 Dragons. That's going to give Taco some time to scale, and we've seen what this Varus build can do later in the game, Mad Magical. Once you get 2-3 items under your belt, it hits rather hard. Spawn's going to be a bit of a problem to deal with here on the side of Maryville, as he's
it has a lot more burst than you expect. That's I think the thing that people don't really think, because they think Varus, if he's going to have burst, it's going to be from the poke from range. And yeah, he can poke, but if he gets the Chain of Corruptions on you, then afterwards that arrow is already going to have the fully lighted stacks on top of you. You're going to pop.
MU still have a lot of ability to make plays, and Orange is still fed out of his damn mind. 505 on the Sejuani, as he is very tanky and very difficult to deal with. So I still think wherever Orange is, good potential to make plays. NXI is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, he has no ult, no unbreakable will. Spawn's kind of like, yeah, there's not much I can do for you, my friend.
Be over to Scary Jerry. Good setup from MU as they get a pick. And the good part about having Pantheon is that once Niles answers this top wave, he will have that Grand Starfall up yet again to try and make proactive play on the map. Wherever Orange goes, look for Niles to follow, stacking up the Permafrost, but also they are the 2 members of MU that are very strong And fortunately for them, they were able to snowball a bit of that into Scary Jerry as well. We got a lot of gold off that first bot lane TP from Niles, and it's really not stopped from there as Kai'Sa, not going to be the AP build, but the DPS from Kai'Sa, if she is able to auto, always very high.
Yeah, exactly. It's still going to be a lot of damage that you get. I am a little surprised it's not the AP build, just with what we have been seeing from a lot of Static Shift. Plus, you have a lot of damage coming in from Niles, but having that second source so that Get Back can itemize for that Leandries, get more burn and more usefulness out of Ahri is going to be nice. Another game, Cubby.
I was about to say, it's a rare deep breath that we get here when these two are playing.
It is. I was about to say, it has slowed down for a moment, but it feels like that's only going to be for a moment. And each one of these fights, even though Taco has been getting some fights that they got some stuff back, they're still down 4,000 gold in this game. And we're about to get to that moment. Okay, I'm watching him.
He has that ult available, so if MU wants to collapse on the Taco if they go for a second crash, I think that's the play. Taco should not push up into this with Pantheon not showing. I like how they're showing some reservation here. That's a really good call from Taco to not get engaged on by the Pantheon.
Just take the gold that you can get and Spawn flashing away from Odd Orange. Trying to clear out the waves the best he can.
Love that from Odd Orange. Like, you just saw 3 bots.
Oh, wait a minute.
Flash at least.
Zyko looked like he was caught out. That's going to be a Tibbers getting a lot of damage onto Zyko, so they get re-engaged, but Rosehorn was sitting too low. They're going to be able to get the kill onto one. It's going to be a support for support with the Nazi going to be the next target, and he should die.
Split fight as MU able to really shut down Spawn. Spawn didn't have flash, and the cleanse just came up. He got stuck over the wall, so I love how MU played that fight towards the mid lane, just making sure that the DPS individuals for Taco couldn't get involved, and now Onat stuck bot. MU has everyone up besides Zyko. Scary Jerry rips through this Baron, and that's gonna be all there.
It's gone. It's gone. There's no way you can get past that. Good call from Maryville. Winning the fight, getting the Baron, Turo Baron buff on their heads.
This is what we've always credited Maryville for. When they make a call, they make it as 5. This collegiate team has been sticking together for a while, showing some real strength in the second game of this series against Team Fish Taco, and a lot of it's coming off the back of this Sejuani for Odd Orange, as he continues to just be a fantastic piece for Maryville. I really can't stop saying enough good things about Odd Orange this split, man. It really feels like he's on his game in NACL, which has been more than just a pleasant surprise. We always say the jungle is the most stacked role from top to bottom in NA, just given the amount of talent that we have at every single level of play, and it's great to see Odd Orange, a good collegiate jungler, step into Challengers League and play very well.
And what I love about how Odd Orange has looked too, we were talking about with Keel how flexible he is as a player, how he can play all these different styles. And it feels like Odd Orange has been doing that more lately. He has been a lot more flexible. Of course, his Lee Sin is going to be the thing he's most known for, but he has been playing the tanks, he's been playing the facilitators, he's been playing the carries, all of them very well.
We'll see if he can play this next dragon fight well, as Baron should enable Maryville to stop the dragon stacking of Team Fish Taco. You can already see Team Fish Taco not wanting to play around this dragon, given the strength of Maryville. They're going to shove out that top lane. They are forced to respond now to the Baron push from Maryville. It's going to be 2 inners falling, both mid and bot, as Maryville will clean up mid first.
Get the easy one. They already had the minions pushing with the cannon. They'll take that one, then they can rinse and repeat to the bot lane, and you can see as Onat is trying to clear out the best he can. Jerry, though, did base, and that, I think, stops that push here in the bot lane, so they shouldn't be able to take this inner.
Okay. They're always able to get his wave in. If I was Maryville here, I would have actually matched the recall across the board, or I would have taken the recall from my AD to actually start this dragon. I know that I don't like doing dragons when you have Baron, because you can always retreat the dragon after you utilize all the minion waves being shoved, but the fact my AD base there, might as well have hit that so you can regroup as 5 after this objective. So for the case, solo laner's making sure that there is still shove, and then Scary Jerry should walk bots and clean up that second inner here.
They got that, get the dragon. First one of the game for Maryville. The Turo Baron buff still there for Maryville. Got some time left so they can take more gold. It's now nearly 7,000 gold lead they have above, and they could even look for that dive to get the flash away from Onat. So there goes your flash, Tibbers. You no longer have that tool.
Curious that we didn't see Tibbers just drop to try and stick them under the tower. So will be held onto by the side of Onat. Odd Orange spotted on a ward. We'll find out the bad news now.
Look at Get Back. He was just hanging out in mid lane, so that Baron buff wailing away at one of the inhibitors. Put a lot of pressure onto Taco. That's why you can kind of see their split. They want to defend this inner turret in the bot lane. There's no real reason to, especially with how low mid lane turret was taken.
More gold going over to Maryville. AK gold lead in their favor, as it really has been built off of the top lane lead for Niles, but just the way that Odd Orange is able to play around, it got him pretty far ahead as well. As Rosethorn on that first clear did go for a play mid, wasn't able to find it, started really got Odd Orange ramping up in the jungle, and we've seen Sejuani do some pretty good damage when she's able to continuously full clear today. Just given how strong Bommies is, and how strong Sejuani is in some of these skirmishes, especially with the synergies you have on Maryville. So I think Maryville doing a nice job of playing towards their win cons, Mad Magical. And
I agree.
See if they can turn it into a win on the board here, as at the moment sure seems like they're set up to do so.
The fact that you have a full item lead from your marksman as well, Scary Jerry, already got that Phantom Dance completed, and that's what against Spawn on what we both would agree is a lot cheaper of an itemization. So having that kind of lead already for Kaisa has really helped out Maryville, where we expected the early game to be favored for the top side, but they're doing a good job of transitioning that lead top side down towards the bottom lane.
It's pretty similar on the scoreboard, but that's where the 5 turrets to 1 comes in. And Scary Jerry also was able to get a shutdown in that bot skirmish when Niles was able to join. So again, Maryville doing a nice job of figuring out their win cons. As at the moment, no one is showing on waves from Team Fish Taco, so they're going to back off a Taco show and then make a play from there. I don't mind that. Get back really paying respect, going all the way back to hit a vision plant, making sure that he's a little bit safer here.
Again, the game kind of slowing down between these two. A lot of early plays. What we really set up. Lennon was talking about that these two teams, it's all about how they play out the early game, get these leads, and then usually as the game continues to spell out, that's when things get hard. Get back thinks that he's getting camped in the bot lane. He's not exactly sure, but that's because they have no vision.
And no one's showing on either of the waves, so I think Get Back, there's no rush here. The real setup for Maryville is just this Baron when it does become available. So I think Get Back after this wave might collapse and join his team, especially if Onat does show mid, as they will spot 2. Yeah, just going to recall, get a buy, and see what can happen here for the side of MU. It's been a great job of setting up this game. It's been a good series from each of our junglers, as each of them have put a really solid game on the Sejuani. Odd Orange looking to wrap up this one in favor of himself.
Barely takes any damage there from Onat and Rosethorn, so he just gets right out of there, goes back for the vision game, trying to set up for his team. 20 seconds left until potential Turo Baron buff. The second one could be picked up by Maryville.
Bot waves crashing into the inhibitor turret. Man, things have really slowed down here for like the first time all series, Mad Magical.
Yeah, I was about to say,
what's going on?
I kind of feel like the first time all day. We've had a lot of action today. Well, there we go. Maryville, moment it spawns, they're even TP'ing for the play. This should be read by Team Fish Taco. They're so afraid to even enter. They are going to spot it out. Wait, can he get Rosethorn over the wall? They have turned it back. Now they're looking for the fight instead with the charm on to Lunacia. They got a lot of damage, but look at the damage on to Scary Jerry on the other side. Lunacia slicing and dicing. Huge engage from Zyko, making sure that MU can clean up this fight. There's nothing it can do after that kind of engage.
What a play from Zyko, waiting for everyone to funnel into the choke. Picks his moment wonderfully on the rel. And Zyko able to wrap this one up. Talked about how each of our supports looked a little bit better on the engaged champ. Zyko ending with a resounding yes, saying, yeah, get the Yumi, get the million out, man. I want to go in, as him and Maryville find this game win and even up the series.
Nicely done there from Zyko to really clean up that fight for the team, to set everything up for them as they take this one. And as predicted, I said it at the beginning of the series, that I thought it was going to be a 1-1 split between the two teams.
They end up ringing true. Zyko, that was a fantastic engage at the end, but man, props to Odd Orange. Wrapped up that game 5-0-13 on the Sejuani. Sejuani is a pick that's really picking up a lot of presence in the 13-11 meta. Of course, I didn't see any changes in 13-12, but I feel like we're going to start seeing a lot more Sejuani. Just the strength you can build up in the top side with some of these combos between Jax, Renekton, and then I love the Pantheon answer into Renekton always from Niles. I feel like that's really well done. It's a champion I expect to see a lot more of emerging in the jungle metas. If you take away Kindred and Vi, it feels like nothing can really deal with Sejuani.
Exactly. I think that is why we're seeing a lot more Sejuani kind of across the world, like globally, has really been rising in priority because we have been still seeing a lot of the bans towards Vi, towards Kindred, even towards Wukong. So seeing how good both junglers can play on that one, expecting to see that's probably going to rise in a ban list for a lot of people going forward.
It was a big part of each team's win in that 1-1. So curious to see as our teams continue to figure out patch 13.12. It's one that's a little bit more fun for me, getting Yuumi and Milio out of there. So
Fun for everyone getting them out of here, let's be honest.
Especially if you're a support player.
Especially for a support player. But that is going to be the series, one apiece. We're going to toss it to a break, and when we come back, Mazel will be here for an interview with Maryville. Make sure you stay tuned.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Welcome back to the Verizon post-game interview. I'm joined by Odd Orange, the jungler for Maryville University, after a nice little comeback win in the second game of the series. Now, we haven't got to talk to you yet, man, and I know we're pretty close, but also want to get you close to the community itself. What's the journey been like? You guys became the first collegiate to ever make it in an ACL. I know it's a heck of a journey. I know it's been a heck of a split already, so talk to me about it.
Well, I mean, every year at Maryville, we try and grind all the amateur circuits that are out there. So I mean, in spring we were just grinding all the OQs because we wanted to be as strong as possible coming into CLOL, and we were doing very well on the amateur circuit. And I mean, I don't know, we're grinders at Maryville. You know, we never stop grinding. So it's cool that we landed ourselves in the NACL and we can have a summer of playing League as opposed to not doing anything, I guess.
Does it mean anything special to you after having been part of Maryville for so long and have this kind of lasting achievement?
It doesn't mean as much as it seems like it should, but like maybe down the line I'll appreciate it if Maryville is still grinding in. I don't know like what's going to be around next year regarding Challenger Series or not, but if like Maryville is still grinding in Challenger Series for years to come, it'll be cool to see that we were the first team to get them there.
I love to hear it. Love to hear it. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the game because there have been some kind of roller coasters for you guys. You seemingly have found your footing now a little bit. What has been the biggest factor in that, kind of besides just getting more time in game?
Like it's hard to say that there's been a factor outside of that because that is like the only factor in my opinion. Okay. It's like I told Cubby a little bit about this, but it's like leading up to CLOL, we could only scrim, like nobody was scrimming because it was in between spring and summer split. All the academy teams were on break, and no OQ teams were scrimming. So we were pretty much only scrimming SLU for like a month straight. And ever since CLOL ended, all the academy teams are scrimming, or the NACL teams, and it's like we just have good scrim partners every day, and we do a 5-game block, so it's like a lot of team practice.
Holy cow, yeah, that is a lot. Speaking of team though, a little bit, you guys are a pretty close-knit group. What would you say the biggest positive is of that Maryville system and that tight-knitness?
Oh, I mean, since we're essentially it feels like we're essentially an academy team where we are. I mean, we all live on campus over summer. We all play in person together every day. We hold people accountable. Like we hold ourselves accountable. I think since we're all really close friends, like we can hold each other accountable, and it's not like, oh wow, this person's being mean to me. It's like, no, they want to see you do better because they know you can do better because we're together all the time.
Yeah, okay. Get a little bit of that chemistry going. And the chemistry from the bot lane has been of interest for us on the broadcast, at least. What's it been like being a part of the team and also seeing these guys get their feet wet a little bit in the bot lane? Do you have any advice for them that you've been given on?
Yeah, we give them advice here and there. Like we try and lead them into like the overarching like macro game plans. But for them, like if they're watching, I'd say like I just want them to stay confident because sometimes they're confidence players. I think when you're just getting your feet wet into the professional scene or semi-professional scene, confidence goes a long way. So I just hope that they can stay confident throughout the split because I know they're the top 2, top 3 bot line in NACL. So
love to hear that confidence from you to your teammates as well. But now we got to get to the fun questions. We did that game show I was talking about earlier and before this going on, and one of the things I brought up was your recent bowling achievement, my friend.
Yeah,
so do you want to flex those guns a little bit? How do you get so good at bowling, man? I've never even gotten over like a 180.
So, I mean, the story is like 2 years ago I went bowling and with a friend, and I saw a guy next to me bowling with the curve spin, and I always bowled straight down the lane. Bowling's not that hard, so like I had him teach me how to do the curve, and then I bowled for like 3 months straight. I bought a summer pass, cause like remember I told you when we're not in NACL over the summer, there's a lot of free time.
Yeah.
So I spent like 2 summers ago, I spent the whole summer bowling, because I wanted to beat my dad's score, which is a 212. But I actually didn't beat it until just like a week and a half ago. I bowled like a 244, and
Yeah.
you know.
No big deal. You got the bowler in the house now, I guess.
Yeah.
But you love to hear, man.
Yeah.
I bowled for a brief little stint back when I first was in high school, and I would try to do the curve. I never got very good at it, but it was very fun to try.
Yeah.
Spin it as much as possible.
It's a pretty relaxing, casual sport. You know, I think anyone can be pretty good at it if you spend like a certain amount of hours into it. So.
Yeah. Well, that is all my questions for you today, my friend. I do want to give you a moment to give some shout outs. Anything you want to talk about here or looking forward?
Gosh, any shouts outs? I mean, shouts out all the boys. Shouts out Dan, Shipley, Andrew, all the guys. Shouts out Teach, he graduated. And we're coming for TLC. I wanna just put those guys in the dirt, honestly, especially because APA, he just chirps, and honestly, it never feels good to play a best of 2 because it seems like a lot of the teams can go 1-1 versus each other. I think when we play versus TLC, we're gonna go 1-1 versus them, but like when we catch them in playoffs, it's gonna be coming for you, Ian. We're coming for APA.
Oh, you hear that, man? You hear that?
So I just want to see them in a best of 5, like really badly.
Catch me in best of 5. How about that? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. On Orange, I was going to call you Nathan again, but thank you so much,
Yeah.
man. It was nice to get to talk to you. I'm going to go ahead and say bye to Maryville. We're going to go ahead and bring back my 2 analysts, Magical and Covey, to round out our day.
You know,
And they're coming for TLC.
I gotta say, I really wonder what Maryville thinks about APA chirping and talking. I have no idea how they feel about that.
I don't know. Mystery, man. Mystery.
I have no idea, you know?
I just love that. We're coming for you, Ian.
Yeah. Call him by his first name. You know what's up. I do want to bring up the standings, though, talk a little bit about this crazy day that we've had. Speaking of Team Liquid Challengers, they're looking mighty scary at the top there. Maybe wait until that best of 5 comes around, but definitely a head and above a rest of their challenger rosters, at least, and the rest of the league.
All right, I gotta say, TLC put another game in between them and second place.
I was just about to
but
say that.
Also, shout out to DSG. Found a 2-0. Their second
Yes.
split. First one in a while. Excited to see that. As I'm going to do some VOD review streams after this. My goal for the day.
Oh, just to go ahead, plug your channel. Twitch.tv/CubbyXX.
Yeah, I have it back, which is sick.
Nice.
But also, I'm 1 game away from hitting D1, so I got to see if I can do that tonight as well. Maybe we'll do that.
Any thoughts besides that, Magical, on the rest of this bracket so far?
All right, if we're selling out, go. I'm doing
Oh
YouTube
my
stuff.
God.
Go to my YouTube at Magical. There you go.
We're supposed to be subbing to the players in these channels. You support the players, you support the teams. 50% of the revenue goes to these teams that you see on your screen right now. I'm the real shill here.
Hey, also shout out to Turo. You know, gotta love them helping out the players.
That's coming,
as well.
all right? That's coming.
I'm giving my own shout out right now. That's not even the ad read. I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart.
All right, Covey, let's go ahead and put
Sweet
a
of you.
bow on this day. We are halfway through this weekend. We still have one more day ahead of us. Do you have any thoughts and look aheads to tomorrow?
Oh, I didn't pull up the schedule. Do we have a schedule? Do we
don't have a schedule. I just thought you might know.
Hold on.
You wanna
I'm
talk
not
about
on
it?
tomorrow, man. I've been
All
working.
right, all right, fine. We're going to cut that anyways. Magical,
Hold
do
on,
you have
hold on.
anything? No?
No,
Do I have it?
Watch this. I'm going to pull this up so fast. Hold on.
Oh, you can pull stuff in. You got
Summer.
a
Yeah,
couple
all right.
seconds.
Yeah,
You got
all
a
right,
couple
here we go.
seconds.
Schedule for tomorrow. Wildcard versus Fear is a good one. And then also get to see Taco versus AoE. I got to say, AoE, they had a tough schedule this week. Going up against Fear and then TLC. I want to see if they can maybe pick up some wins against Taco, who keep on looking better. So looking forward to those 2 series. See, I got there.
There you go. We
Thank you,
made it
Internet.
there in the end. And we made it to the end of this day. I just want to give a shout out to Turo. The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car sharing marketplace, where you can book any car you want for just about any occasion. You can go to the beach, you go to the store, you can just have a cool car to look at. Forget about boring rental cars at Turo.com. And that is it for LCS Challengers on the day. Make sure you tune back in tomorrow, same time, same place. and same energy. We'll see you there.